Hi there, it's Dr. Saira, and welcome back to Ask Dr. Saira, which is our weekly video series where I answer your questions about personal development, relationships, and spirituality. This week's question actually hits quite a personal note for me, and this question comes from Nancy. And the question is, how do I approach my family member because I think they have body issues? Okay. How do I approach my family member because I think they have body issues? So let me tell you a little story about myself. So for many, many years, I would say I still have a food addiction. And so for many years, I was obese, and I didn't see it, and I didn't know that there was anything I could do about it. Started when I was 16, and I didn't really get my weight under control until about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where I found a program and a way of eating that keeps me, stable and doesn't have me spinning out around food. And so lots of people tried lots of different things during that time to address my body issues. So, I remember family members would encourage me to work out, or go for a walk with them, or try to get me to do active things. And I wasn't really interested because I've never been kind of a very athletic or active person. I'm more like the person who's sitting in the corner reading a book. So that didn't really click. And I could tell it was like this veiled attempt, right, to get me to be healthy. So that didn't work. Another thing that they would do is that they would encourage me to eat more healthily. So the way that they would try to do that is to comment on the food that I was eating. Like, are you sure you want to take that extra thing? Or I don't know. I remember at one point I was eating fries with mayonnaise. That was my thing. It was all about fries and mayonnaise. And somehow that made sense to me because I thought mayonnaise had less sugar than ketchup, and so it's more, I don't know, I had some story going on. And so, I'd be eating these fries and this mayonnaise, and my mom would just be watching me, and I knew she was watching me, and a part of me wanted to say well, screw you, it's my body. And again, when I was in it, I didn't realize that I actually was dealing with a food addiction. I actually had a problem, and I was using food to compensate for to cover and to deal with a lot of my own pain and trauma. I didn't see that, but my family did. And honestly, there was nothing that they did that actually made me change. It wasn't them. It was me. I remember the moment that the epiphany happened for me. It was, I was in Chicago visiting my husband's family. We were, there for Christmas, and I remember sitting with a group of women, and we were all the women were pretty much overweight or obese in the group, and we were all sitting there eating chicken wings and drinking milkshakes. And at one point, there was 5 of us. At one point, I looked around the table and I saw there was 15 milkshake cups and well over 100 bones. From our wings and our milkshakes. And I just sat, and it just hit me that was, for me, that was my, what they call the rock bottom point, right? Where I was what have I done? All that, I just put all of that in me, and why? And it just I just had this thing that happened, and it woke me up. And again, it wasn't because nobody at that table was criticizing me. We were all having our fun time eating, and I woke up, right? And so I think, though I understand where this question comes from, I understand your impulse to support your family member and help them see that what they're doing is unhealthy. In my experience, it's going to have to be a personal choice that is made. One of the things that could have been helpful, and that I'm finding helpful now for a lot of people, is supporting each other in changing diet. So one of the things is doing a sugar challenge, right? Or some sort of a game or fun way of getting back to basics. And I want to let you know, Nancy, that asked this question, that not everyone who eats food has a healthy relationship to food. There's some people who can eat and they're fine, and they eat, and it's no big deal. There's other people who actually think about food all the time. Think about food, think about weight, think about exercise, counting calories. It's a constant thing. And so for somebody who doesn't have that going on, it's sometimes hard to understand when people who are kind of experiencing a food addiction. Now, I'm making assumptions. I'm thinking that the body issues have to do with food. They could be, they could be related to something else. Like maybe they don't like the way they look, like their face, or they don't like their hair, or something else. It could be. But I think in general, we can't improve someone else's self-esteem. Like that's an inside job, right? That's something that people have to do for themselves. And one of the things that I found really helpful is to take the emphasis off of the look, right? To take the emphasis off of the physical body, because we're so much more than our physical appearance, right? So when I would suggest when you're spending time with that person to actually connect on things not around food and not around body. So not around like, oh, let's have some exercise, or let's go to this restaurant, but maybe something different. Maybe you're going to go to a paint night together, or maybe you're going to, just talk over a coffee. Well, again, that could be triggering because there might be donuts and things at that coffee shop. It's so annoying. It's everywhere. The sugar's everywhere. But finding creative ways to bond with this person that are outside of their body issue stuff. Because I can feel in your question this impulse to fix it, right? And the thing to know is that we can't really fix other people's problems. We can support them. We can give them resources and ideas, but we can't fix it. So for anybody who's watching who themselves has an issue with food, weight, body image, all of that stuff, the program that I found it's called Bright Line Eating. And I'm not getting anything for saying that. Like, I'm telling you that because it changed my life. Absolutely changed my relationship with food. So I'll put a link in the information below of how to connect if you are ready for just letting go of all that food stuff and just getting sane around food. Check out Bright Line Eating. And leave a comment below for yourself about your own, for those who have been through their own body issues and how you brought yourself out of it. What were the things that other people did that helped you? What were the things that you did for yourself that helped? So that's our episode for today for Ask Dr. Saira. Keep sending me questions. I'm really enjoying doing these, so keep sending them. I'd like to see that they keep coming, and they're coming from everywhere. And I guess we'll see you next time. It's your life, and only you can live it.